Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Be Positive Show, guys. This is episode 15. How's everyone doing? Welcome. And guys, if you are here from this guy's side, welcome. This is the Be Positive Show. So, guys, as I said yesterday, today's episode is going to be really, really special from a person really special to my heart. I haven't seen this guy in like almost a year, as long as his hair, basically. And I really miss him, and I can't wait to hear more news about him. Like, I already know enough, but like I'm sure today he's gonna be telling us a lot of things, and it's gonna be new things to me. So, guys, this is the Be Positive Show. A big shout out to his own brother, the guy sitting here, his own brother Mustafa, who actually made this lovely music we're listening to. And now for the big reveal, this is Mustafa Ahmad, the lovely technology enthusiast. The guy who I literally met the first day of uni. He was a little smaller and not much hair going on. But he was the guy we played pool with, and then he was even the guy I ended uni with. We took our last picture on our graduation day. I never bothered seeing him though. No, I'm kidding. I love this guy. Welcome, Mustafa. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, baby. Thanks so much for having me. Feeling good, feeling positive.
That's good, man. How have you been? How was the whole quarantine? How was life? How was work? How was the family?
Oh, it's been interesting, man. So for us, we've all kind of always just been used to working remotely. So it was easy for us to adjust to working from home. But yeah, it's been interesting not being able to get out of the house and go and meet people, because at least once or twice a week we'd have an in-person meeting, and that's now become a virtual Zoom meeting like this. So it took us a while to get used to, but yeah, it felt I feel like I ended up with a lot more time on my hands, so it kind of worked out in our favor.
That's good. That's good. I hope you're using this time in a productive way. Also, Eid Mubarak. It's Eid obviously in Dubai, so Eid Mubarak
So
to you
Mubarak.
and your family. And Eid Mubarak to all our lovely viewers watching. So guys, if you are here from Mustafa's side, welcome to the show. This is my channel. What I do is I do the Positive Show on Fridays and Saturdays, and I fill it up with gaming content throughout the week. So make sure you drop a follow to get the notifications. Also, guys, to get Mustafa's information and his socials, use the command !guest, which gives you the link to his socials. Make sure you follow him and give him support. He's close to 3,000 followers on Instagram, so get your asses and actually go follow him. Like right now, come on. Otherwise, Mustafa, let's get started. I'm really excited for today's topic, which is basically stealing a job from someone who's more experienced than you. I mean, definitely something I would expect from you. You've been kind of doing this for years, you sneaky little boy. And yeah, you actually are smart. Like, I mean, you've always kind of impressed me with what you were able to do. A lot of crazy ideas you've got throughout the years, but most of them ended up being successful, in my opinion. And the ones who were not successful yet, we don't know if you're still working on them, but maybe he can surprise us in the future. But it's something that you've always been passionate about, and you are literally the only person who never gives up. Like I see this as your like motto in life. Like, I would fucking never give up, and it's crazy because you actually prove yourself in front of others eventually, and it's such a motivational thing. Like, a lot of people end up not believing you, not having faith in you, but then once you actually reach your spot and reach your achievements and reach your goals, people are like, well, he did it. And yeah, they're just clueless and they don't know what to do. So tell us your secret, Mustafa. What is all this about?
Yeah, so I mean, after seeing kind of what this pandemic did to the landscape of things, right? I was just trying to figure out, and I was just thinking about all the, say, young graduates coming out or graduating from university or school or whatever during this time. That what the heck are they going to do, right? As it is, the job market is tough. Now, when you throw pandemic in the mix and you have normal, highly qualified people losing jobs, like what hope do you really have, right? At least that's the thought that runs wild with so many of these students. So I thought, okay, let me put together something, sort of my best practices, my tips and tricks, my everything that I've picked up over the last 3, 4, 5 years into this sort of concept of how do you steal a job from someone more experienced than you, regardless of what your level is. right? And the first thing it got me to is like when I'm thinking back on, how was I able to do all the different things I was able to do, right? And the thing is that this country that we live in, this market that we're in, it's a Vasta driven market,
That's
right?
true.
You need to know people. If you don't know the right person, you can't get the job done. If you have a team of 10 people, you can replace all of them by just one guy who actually has the right contacts to get the job done, right? So it's all about who you know. So how do you find these folks, right? So it's the people who are influential or who have power to do things and move, buildings for you, are the ones who are on shows like these, are the ones who are on platforms like this, who want to be out there and recognized and found by others, right? So it was as simple as going to a random conference or watching a webinar or, just going to these events where you meet all these kind of people. That's where you start, building that. Because see, at the end of the day, Vishal, you know this about me, I was never one of those high distinction people, right?
100%.
I graduated with a 69% and in computer science, that is laughed upon. There's like, nobody's going to give you a job with that kind of thing, right? But at the end, what I realized was that, like going back to what I said, the market that we live in, it's a Vasta driven market. Nobody gives a crap about your grades, right? So even if you are someone who's in the 60s or 70s, you can still make it out of this, right? So the first point is it's all about who you know, right? Second is networking. How do you do that, right? Now that it's through the events, through through online events and stuff like that. It's as simple as just writing to someone on LinkedIn. Like you'd be surprised the kind of success rate you'd hit by just reaching out to someone on LinkedIn. Like, okay, so let's take this example, right? Let's say you are studying marketing, you're a marketing graduate. Now, think of the ladder that you need to climb, right? And what is the top position you could reach in marketing? A chief marketing officer. So what I used to do was, this was in second year of uni, I used to reach out to, now being in tech, for us, our top levels are CTOs and CIOs. I used to reach out to all these, CTO of this company, CIO of that bank, digital head of digital for this and that, and reach out to them and send them an email saying that, hey, this is me, this is what I'm doing, I'm super excited, how can I, help you out, right? I'm not asking them to help me, I'm saying, how can I help you, right? Immediately showing them that I have something to give you, right? Now, granted, it's not always a success strategy, but it's the one that if you do hit the bullseye, you will achieve so much more than what you would have done 6 months of grinding and actually putting in work in other areas, right? Because one of these guys, these are those influential guys who can change your life, right? Who can be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to talk to my HR, I'm going to talk to my boss, I'm going to talk to this person, and I'll make it happen for you, right? You just need one of them to come through.
That is true.
So I used to reach out to about 100 of them every year, right? Different ones, wherever. And every now and then, some of them would click. Sometimes I'd get a job interview that would, that where I would, go and apply for, where other mediums like our, career fairs and whatnot were unsuccessful with. And, just simply applying for a job online you have to go through so many levels and layers of people, right? But I got in straight to the main person who was hiring. So they were like more than happy to, pull me in and take me up the chain and get me this sort of a VIP fast pass in the process. So it happens, right? When you meet the right folks, right? So that's what I'd say. Point number 2 is the networking, right? If you learn to sort of network, it opens so many doors for you like you have no idea, right? And the beauty is, right? Many people think that, oh, this guy is not at that level, it's pointless. Hey, today he's not. Tomorrow, when you actually need someone who's doing a specific job in a specific company at a specific level, this guy who you decided is worthless is now suddenly in that position.
100%.
Right? People don't seem to think about that, and they end up losing out and missing out on opportunities that they could have cemented over the years, right? Now, if I come to you now, because you know me, you're like, yeah, sure, Mustafa, I'll help you out. Now, if I go to someone completely random, how likely is it that he's going to do an act of kindness for a complete stranger? Not very likely.
Not at all.
But if I build that relationship over time, I could just now like with yourself, you can always just give me a ring and I'll be there to sort of help out, right? Because we have this sort of friendship for years.
That's true.
So it's the same concept here, right? So now I was thinking, okay, I've told people that they need to interact with the right folks. I've told people they need to network. But now I started bumping into folks who have no idea how the hell to network, right? And the simplest thing is that, just like you, if there are 10 people watching this and all 10 of them decide to go and apply what I'm doing, you're not competing with 10 other folks who are going to be reaching out to these same people, right? How do you differentiate yourself? You have to be interesting, right? Now, to be interesting means you need to sort of think about what the other person has in mind, right? Now, I know, Vishal, you want to grow your channel, you want to get followers, you want to do this, you want to do that. So I may come to you for something that I need, but I'm going to propose it as something that you need.
True, and that's a smart way of actually doing things.
Exactly. You flip the narrative. Now suddenly you're just like, okay, wow, this guy has everything that I was looking for. Of course I'm going to help him now. I have nothing to lose.
True.
Right? You flip the narrative. Or you talk about things that you don't think anybody else has done. Right? You talk about you have to sort of describe and explain and sell yourself, which is coming to point number 4, the elevator pitch, in a way that, you know, that just immediately leaves people stunned and wanting for more. Right? It's kind of like a movie trailer. You watch a movie trailer, it's about a minute long, tells you a gist about what the movie is, and now you're just like, shit, I have to go and watch that movie.
That is true.
Right? That's basically what you got to do, right? So you got to hype it up, talk about things. Now I've done a few things that, you know, like let's take one of our basic CSCI projects that we did. Right? We built a first-person shooter game. Now when I have to go and talk to someone, I hype it up. I was like, oh, I made a game. It was about Harambe the gorilla. It's first-person shooter. He's fighting back. Yeah, I sell it like it's a big deal. When really it was just maybe 36 hours of work that I put into it in a very low quality, low budget kind of looking game. But I sold it so much that people are like, I have to see this game, right? Similarly, you sell yourself in a way, then they're like, okay, you know what? I have to meet this person and have an interview with this person.
Fair enough.
That's the teaser you want to give them, right? And that comes part of your elevator pitch, because nobody has more than a minute to sit and wait and listen to you, right? And the last but not least, the last thing I would say is leave your comfort zone, right? You have no idea how many people I have met who have tons and tons of potential, but just felt like they just missed the mark just because they were too comfortable where they were sitting, right? There's so many people. I could probably, if I start name dropping, you'll know them also, right? So it's unfortunate, you know, like if you just weren't used to leaving your comfort zone, right? I mean, you're never going to be able to make it. I mean, you said this at the start of the show, right? That there were people who didn't believe and didn't think I was able to do it, right? That was me leaving my comfort zone. I would have felt much more happier just doing what I do, surrounded by people who know me, and that's about it. But it was only once I got out of that and I was just like, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to do what I think is right and forget what everybody else says and exit my comfort zone to go and pursue what I wanted. That's when I actually did achieve some level of success. So that's what I'd say is sort of, you know, the 5 ways of, or the 5 perspectives and ideas of the job market and how to crack it, right? Then moving on from there, there's one thing I've now, okay, so let's say this, right? So now you've understood how to crack the job market. What the hell do you do next, right? Now with anything that you plan to achieve, you got to set a goal, right? Now the goal could be, I want a job by the end of the year. The goal could be I want to get 5 offer letters by the time I graduate, whatever it is, right? Now, you and I used to practice this a lot back in uni when we were working on events or when we were working on projects and so on, right? What did we do? We set the goal, and then we broke it into little milestones, and then we started backtracking. As okay, this is the goal, so in order to get this is the next milestone. Okay, in order to do that, I need to do this. In order to do that, I need to do this. And now you've got this super small little milestone that you can achieve, which could be as simple as writing a draft message to send to someone on LinkedIn. Right, that's your start, and then from there you just keep going. Right, so it's kind of turning this in super daunting challenge into something that's very doable. Right, now I say this because I was in a position where I finished uni in January, and by March my visa was expiring. Right, I had 2 months. Now, thankfully, I knew some people, so they were able to help out and extend that. That was the folks that you know, able to pull things through. If I didn't have that, I was screwed. I was going bad. I'd be doing this call with you from Pakistan by now. right? So that's one thing, right? But then another thing is that because it was so daunting to go and find that right job in the right span of time, it was just like freaking me out. Like, how the hell am I going to do this? And by breaking that entire goal into these little milestones, it just made it so much more easier to be like, okay, this is done, that is done, this is done, that is done. And honestly, this is a technique that should be applied in life in general, right? Not just for like figuring out how to get a job.
Divide and conquer. Yes. That is right.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, it worked for us back in uni, and I thought, you know what, it's gonna work here as well, and that's what I did. And yeah, man. So that said, those are some of the things that I came across in terms of, you know, how the hell do you, as a fresh graduate, or as a second or a third year or a final semester student, what you should be and what you can go out and try to do in order to sort of score a job that you don't think you, in your wildest dreams, you would have ever gotten, based on your, you know, your financial status or your grades or your this or your that, right? The odds are always going to be stacked against you, but if you play your cards right, there's always a way to sort of come out on top. And that's what I think this is.
That's amazing.
And yeah.
In fact, I think Gary V agrees with you on the very first point. So again, you said too many things, so I'm gonna have to start commenting on each.
Go ahead.
But Gary V actually agrees with you. Again, guys, if you don't know Gary V, he's one of the biggest motivational speakers and entrepreneurs in the world. He actually agrees with you. So I remember one girl asked him, she was studying biochemical engineering, and she was very interested in fashion, and that was her passion, and she was really good at it. But she was waiting, and she messaged him. She's like, should I get into university and do biomedical engineering like I'm supposed to, or should I go and follow my dream? And you know what he told her? He told her, you have around, she had 3 months before applying, right? So he told her, you have 3 months, go fucking spam every single like fashion page on Instagram. He literally told her to do what you just told us to do. And one of those companies should eventually come back to you. And he told her, even if you go and work for them for free, mention that you want to help them and do it with a genuine heart. And obviously that includes you coming out of your comfort zone. And that was actually amazing. And she did that, and she ended up being one of the biggest fashion people. And she was telling her story on his show later on in life, which was amazing because it's actually true. Like if I mean, you kind of did it yourself. You have a life example right here.
Yeah.
Messaging a lot of people sometimes eventually gets you to the right people, and I 100% agree with the fact that you should never degrade anyone, or you should always be nice to people. Me personally, and this is a personal experience, I've been nice to many people randomly, just in uni, who ended up benefiting me later in the future without me even expecting it, just because I was that guy who was nice to you at this point. And it wasn't something that like it came, and it wasn't like an extra thing I had to do. It was just me being my nature, you know. There's no reason to be bad to anyone. Just be nice to everyone. Everyone has a value, everyone has a commitment, everyone has a story, and it's always good to be nice to people. And I highly agree with you on that. Of course, the divide and conquer technique, that's like a proven technique. I love that. It makes my job easier. So again, I want to give an example. When I started my Twitch channel, so again, becoming a streamer is like a big scary thing, right? But then I slowly put like milestones on things. So first I have to get this designed, I have to get this done, I have to decide the schedule, decide the audience, decide the platforms, build a Discord, build a Twitch, and eventually see things are working. I'm not perfect, I'm not as good as like the big ones out there, but I improve as I grow. And yeah. So guys, just a quick reminder, if you are new here, welcome to the show. To get Mustafa's details, it's !guest. Please do hit us with a follow. And if you have questions, please do ask them in the chat. We will be answering them at the end of this show. So like, we'll give you a chance to ask. Hi Don, hi Atiyah, hi everyone who's coming from Mustafa's side. Thank you guys for the love and the emojis. And yeah, I'll get your questions very soon. But Mustafa, I actually had a question for you.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier something about like, so basically you said that it's a Wasta group, and then you want to talk to the network and stuff, and you said you want to oversell yourself. So like, you're the trailer, and then you want to make yourself look really good. But then the question was do you make yourself look really good to a point where it doesn't actually reflect you? So like when you go there, is it dangerous? Maybe like sometimes I oversell myself to a point where when I actually show up for the interview, it's kind of disappointment to them than what they expected. Or do you think there should be a limit of how much I should myself, like oversell myself to a certain realistic limit? So I just wanted to actually ask on that.
Yeah, so I wouldn't necessarily wouldn't use the phrase overselling, right? Because overselling means you're partially also lying about some things that you've done, right? Which is definitely wrong. Because like you said, if they catch you and they realize, oh, this is not really what you did, then that's it, end of the journey, right? So what I mean to say is that, highlight on sort of key points, key factors, like interesting things, right? Like the let's go back to the first person shooter game. For me, the interesting thing about that was that I capitalized on a theme that was going on during the year, which was the Harambe thing. And it was something that I built in 36 hours straight. Right. So to say that I spent, 1.5 days in a row, locked in one room, built a game and that's what I found as something that, odds were stacked against me. My partner for the group, left the subject and left me on my own to sort of do it. And, those key factors, which you don't hear about in every single project, that's what I thought, okay, that's cool. I'm going to mention it and piece that in there. Right. Because at the end of the day, if somebody really is like adamant to see what you've done, they'll be okay, show it to me, right? So having this sort of portfolio of projects ready is what I would do, right? Because it's only once like I can talk about it. Now you're there as witness, you saw it. Everybody else who's tuning in right now probably has no idea and I cannot necessarily just purely go off my word and be like, yo, I want to see it too, right? So if I had a portfolio of projects ready, I could be like, yeah, sure, here you go. It's ready to go and take a look, zip through it, show people, and that's kind of what you want to have ready on hand at all times. Because at any point in time, somebody will be like, okay, you know what, you're talking a lot. I want to see it for, to be sure. And once they see it, right, nobody's going to sit and dissect it too far. They'll see it on the surface, be like, okay, yeah, it matches your description. No matter how overhyped your description is, it matches your description. And khalas, let's move forward.
So where was the code written? How? that is true. Yeah, that is true.
So, and at the end of the day, right? If you don't show them the how, but you show them the byproduct of the result. Like for example, let's say this, right? Let's say that okay, I was on that TV show, right? In 2018. Now, if I go and tell people I got selected for a show, nobody's gonna ask me, okay, how did we get selected? I mean, they might ask, but nobody's gonna like question my authenticity by asking, okay, what is the process like? What is this? What is that? And if I give the wrong answers, they don't believe me. No, they're gonna be like, where's the show? I want to see the show. That's the final product.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I care about. So in the same case, if I showed people the final product, what I did was to show it on Instagram. I remember I took a picture of the report that said Harambe strikes back. That is my way of proof, right? And I showed that's what I've done. So yeah, it's all about how you word it, right? And the thing is that it's difficult. You're more likely to get caught if you take something that's super, super, super boring and try to overhype it, like filling out an Excel sheet, right? So if you or like posting an Instagram post for a company, right? It's at this point in time, at least I see it as something that's meh. It's nothing that great. You can still hype it up. But if people if your portfolio is filled with boring things that are overhyped, then you just look like a joke.
Let me just put it this way: bullshit will eventually turn out to be bullshit if you keep doing it. Yeah. So,
right. So now, how do you overcome that, right? So you need to have this innate desire and ambition to go out and do some crazy shit, right? That's the best way I can put it. Do some kind of shit that people will be like, "What? He did that?" Made people just like think twice. So like, wow, was he? He actually did that, those kind of things, right? So find kind of these situations, find kind of these moments, find kind of these opportunities where not everybody's doing the same thing, right? It's again stepping out of the comfort zone, stepping away from the flock of sheep. Be that one black sheep in the middle that's doing his own thing, right? Because the TV show that I had done, that's one example for me. Twitch channel for you, BB. That's your thing, right? I don't know anybody from our batch who's doing shows on Twitch and gaming and whatnot, right? It's these kind of crazy things that you do throughout your university days whether it's you took part in a competition, you did this, you did that. Like, find these things, scope them out. If you can't find them, then create them. Like, I'll give you one, right? And this is from the early days, and you remember this. So do you remember that internship I got in our first summer semester with that social media company? Do you remember this?
No, but what was the company called?
I think it was called Link a Goal or something.
Oh,
like
yes, Link a Goal. Yes, I remember them.
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
even
you
sponsor
remember that,
for
right?
your club on university.
Yeah. So it was funny, right? Like, so I'm in my first semester, enjoying my summertime, can't be bothered to do anything else. You know, I want to chill with friends. And, you know, this woman comes up and she's like, you know, trying to find people for this. And I'm just like, you know what? I had people in my life who doubted me and said that, you know, sitting and wasting time on Facebook all day long is not going to get me anywhere. I'm going to take this job just for that. Right? So it became a personal thing. I did it just for that. Ended up making a sweet $4,000 by the end of the month, and came back home and I was just like, look, this is the salary, and you said I was not gonna, you know, get anywhere in life by spending time on social media. It became a story to talk about, right? And those kind of stories classify as doing crazy shit, right? Because who else is gonna come up with a story like that? Because you have to think about it this way, right? You just need to captivate somebody's attention long enough for them to remember you.
True.
And the easiest way to do that is by telling them something that they've, like, why do we go and watch these Marvel movies? Every story, every character in that, we've never seen a character like that before on television.
True.
Right? So when you see it, it's just like, oh my God, this guy can do magic shit. He had a car accident. Oh, this guy was captured by terrorists and became now Iron Man. You know, it's those kind of things, right? Crazy shit that gets stuck in your head. And next thing you know, you're sitting and watching Marvel movies for the next 10 years.
True.
Same thing here. So it's really just playing on psychology. You get in front of the right person. Now you're talking to them. You drop these little nuggets of of stories, and next thing you know, now they're like, okay, sure, Mustafa, please come back. I want to hear more, or please come for this interview, or please do this, and so on. So yeah.
I highly agree. In fact, guys, just to actually prove this point, and it's a story I've always told people. My previous company, Go Gamers, before I got the job, I was looking for jobs professionally on LinkedIn, Indeed. I posted jobs. I made my CV the best CV in the world. For 6 months, I've been posting and no jobs whatsoever. I would just work on freelance projects. The way I got the job in Go Gamers was literally dancing. I went out on stage. They were having a little event, and I went and danced Macarena for them. At that moment, luckily for me, the CEO was actually there. And the CEO looked at me and he's like, I want this guy in my company. He has the personality that I need. And he just literally, it was just a lucky coincidence and something that I did that was crazy. And it helped me get on there and actually get a job. I landed a job because I danced. And it wasn't about the dance. It was about me showing to them and proving the byproduct of my personality, of me being able to pursue myself and being able to go out of my comfort zone to prove something to the world. And obviously, after I danced, the whole stage started dancing. So big shout out to me dancing Macarena. We should do this sometime soon. But yeah, also Mustafa, one guy in the chat. So Don, if you remember, he's also on Twitch, and he's like cough when he said you're the only one. So he actually has a question to both of us, but I'm gonna kind of give it towards you. The question is, what's the measure of success to you guys? Is it moving up to the corporate ladder, or is it being happy no matter what job position you want? And I want to ask this question to you specifically because I've seen you being successful in many things. You've been on many shows, you've been invited to many talks. So like I remember Fun Nights, Fun Nights in Dubai, you were there. Live Bank called you for something. You were on the Indian show Checkmate 2.0.
Yeah.
You've done several radio shows and online interviews, and obviously you are a co-owner of one of the biggest and the most growing startups in the Middle East, Lock and Stock, obviously. And almost every kid that I meet these days knows about Lock and Stock, or probably is like I literally see them like I'm getting points on Lock and Stock.
Yeah.
And many universities are actually benefiting from this, so this is really great. And you're their CTO in charge of like literally all their technology startups and their fields and all that. And actually, funny story, are you going to be in the interview tonight? They have a founders club. So I'm actually gonna be there. I'm probably gonna see you in like 2 hours, which is insane.
Yeah.
So I'm actually pitching my idea there today. But do you consider all that success, or do you just want to be happy? I think that's what Don is really trying to get into.
Right. So I mean, see, when you take that concept of, again, breaking down that major goal into little mini milestones, right? That major goal for me always has been being happy, right? Being stress free, being at a point where I don't have to worry about mundane things, being at a point where, you know, money is not a problem. These kind of things, right? Where you can just be at peace with family and with friends. That's kind of what I see as happiness. That's at least how I describe it, right? Now, considering the circumstances, considering how old we are, considering, you know, how long it'll get us to reach a point where, you know, we don't have to worry about these certain things. Now, it depends from person to person, right? Depends on how you kind of see that journey, right? For me, I'm seeing it from a very traditional lens, I guess, influenced by my parents. And for me, that means that, you know, have to sort of jump this ladder as quick. I mean, I wouldn't say ladder necessarily. I'd say hit these success milestones as quick as possible, right? Let's put it that way. That means whether it's getting that radio interview, whether it's getting that deal closed, whether it's, you know, getting that new job offer, so on and so forth. For me, the way I see it is that right now, being, you know, turning 24 this year, I have all the time in the world, or rather all the time on my hands at this age than I would if I was 28 years old, right? For whatever reason, whether it is family, get married, have kids, yada, 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 right? Keeping all that in mind. Now, the way I see it is that I can sort of chase and go after things without any restriction. So I'm going to do that, right? Because the quicker I can do that, the quicker I can reach a point where I'm, you know, senior enough to be able to be at this state of ease, right? Because see, you can say, yes, happiness is X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, when you live in a country where you can only live in a country if you have a job here, or you have, you know, a visa here, you have to be realistic, right? Right? You can't sit. Let's say you've got the visa down. Now you can't just be sitting at home all day long, right? Who the hell's going to pay for groceries? You have to get money. You have to, you know. So we have to be a little realistic here and say that a savings needs to be thought and planned of. And yeah. Like there's I would say 10, 15 different things that need to be done as prerequisites before you achieve happiness. And because we're at this age, like you, me, and Don included, we are at this point where we can sort of chase these kind of success milestones as quick as possible without any restriction, without anything holding us back, without extra responsibilities or other people that we need to, you know, be answerable to, as compared to 5-6 years down the road. So that's kind of what I see. Like, yes, happiness is the main thing, but in order to get there, I'm chasing these success milestones to hit that big goal.
That's actually a lovely answer, and so truthful and genuine. Actually, that is true. To achieve financial freedom, you kind of, and I like how you call them prerequisites. I think that's the perfect word to place it there. They are like in order to become really happy and really stress-free in life, you gotta achieve at least some of these ones, and obviously be thankful and be considerate of everything that's been happening to you and to the whole journey in general. But yeah, that is very true. And like, you cannot just expect to be happy and chill and like, hey, life is good, but then you're not actually doing anything, or there's no progress happening in your life. I'm sure it's physically impossible. Like, eventually we humans, we always look forward to the holidays, but then we have our summer holidays, and midway through we're like, oh, I'm bored, I want to do something productive, and we either find a sport to do, or we find like a university to go to, or like some course to study. But we humans cannot just keep sitting down. It affects our mentality, it affects our psychology. We like things going and running, and especially at this generation and this age, where it's like the fast age and the running age, it's very, very hard to just be like stable and do nothing. We always seek to improve and do something that's important to us. That's amazing. So Mustafa, you mentioned the community here and the hardships of the community. In your, let's say, in your specific circle of friends and family, and you know, the people you hang out with, co-workers, acquaintances, and all that, Is there like a support system that you kind of belong to, or someone who would actually always be there for you to motivate you? I'm sure like your journey isn't like all rainbows and unicorns and happy.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So is there like a support system, and do you recommend a support system for the people who are working on them? So like if someone had to go through the journey of like, they want to lose their comfort, because a lot of people, the reason why they choose to be in their comfort zone is that they don't want to go through the hardships. But like, let's say they decide to do it, how do you usually give them an advice to cope with these stuff, or like be able to challenge themselves in a way that doesn't affect them mentally or physically?
Right. So the way I would do it, right, is I mean, and I guess you know this about me. Well, what's happened over the years is that I've had a ton of, a group of friends. I've met, loads of people along the way, but you learn to sort of cut them out, right? Just because and this is actually something that we all probably identified growing up, but we're shocked about learning now, is that our parents were the quickest ones to identify the toxic people in our lives.
True.
And told us to stay away from them, right? If you really think about it. So it's just sort of, working on that skill. Identify who's toxic in your life, who's not worth having around. Because at the end of the day, with every person you have in your life, to keep a friendship or relationship or whatever going, you have to put some time investment of your own, right? In order to sort of maintain that, and for it to sort of be a mutual thing. Now, you don't want to put your time and effort into something that's just toxic and that's going to pull you down. You don't want to put it. You don't want to be spending time with folks who don't believe in you, who aren't there to sort of support you, who won't criticize you, with your best interests in mind. You just don't want to waste your time with those kind of people, right? Because 90% of your time is probably going into working and eating well and working out and doing all these things, and the remaining 10% of your time is spent with your friend circle on who you hang out, right? So you have that, and that 10%, frankly, like as much as I would love to sit and work all the time, I need that 10% in doing my week, else I have a mental breakdown.
True.
Right? So now if I'm already being stressed out and overworked and exhausted from my 90% workload, I can't have my 10% being toxic and bad for me, and to a point where it's just worse, right? So you have to sort of, because see, there are tons of good folks out there in the world. The friend circle I have now are people who aren't, they're not from uni. In fact, so most of them are in their 30s. That's my friend circle now, right?
Good.
So they're almost a decade older than me, but they're best of friends, and like they're the guys who I meet every other weekend and hang out with for the last year and a half, right? Just because so you can find a friend circle anywhere. Doesn't have to be of the same age or same nationality or whatever, right? So I think that's the fear that most people have, of cutting people out, that they're just going to be sitting alone, right? I get that. That's happened as well. But if you don't cut them out, they're just going to keep pulling you down. You'd rather be at a plateau than just be a sinking ship, So that's what I would say, right? Because that influences a lot of your mentality, your thought process. Like you'd be surprised the amount of things, the habits, the way you think, the way you perceive the world. All of these are things that come from friends and family, right? And I bet you that 90% of folks our age spend maybe 80% of their time with friends and 20% with family.
True.
Right. So who's really influencing? Who has a much stronger influence right now? It's clearly your friends. So that's why I'd say it's super important to have a very good friend circle. If you feel someone's toxic, cut them out. Find new folks. If you're going out there and attending all these events and doing all these crazy things that nobody else would do, and in networking and whatnot, it's not going to be a problem for you to find new friends, right?
Oh, yeah,
that's kind of how I did it.
100%.
So that should sort of alleviate the fear of you cutting off people that you've known for the last 2 years, just because now they come off as toxic.
It's very true as well. I think if you want to build a good circle of friends, they have to kind of have the same interests as you, Because like I like the last example where you said if you're always going to events and they're not joining you, then what's the point? You know, like they don't have the same interests and stuff, and you clearly don't want to go to their events and their kind of interests. So it's literally like a dead end, and it's just gonna break apart regardless of what happens, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think it would be more natural to just cut it off anyway. And you don't have to do it in a rude way. You don't have to like go on and be like, "I'm breaking up with you." It's not about you. It's about me. I'm the problem. But you know, you can always find nice ways to just, you know, find new friends and spend your time more productive. So like he said,
Exactly.
and I think that's your like motto for today, and your takeaway is like, don't be a sinking ship, don't be a Titanic, basically, or else you'll be like Jack. Because trust me, all those toxic friends are Rose, and they're just gonna let you go.
Yeah. Even though there was space on the. Even though there was space.
Bro, remind me to send you a meme about this. Like, there's this hilarious meme. It's like a guy on top of the girl, and they could have had space. They could have just been on top of each other. It's actually pretty funny. But
Oh my God.
that is true. That is true, and I really agree that we should really choose our friends well and wisely, and not just because everyone is nice to you, or just because people are nice to you, they're your friends. I would say there's a huge difference between being nice as a person and people being nice to you and friends. So a friend is a little more intimate, a little more person you share hangouts with, you share your secrets with and stuff. It's not everyone is your friend, but you can still be nice to everyone. So make that a rule in your life as well. So you can be you can be completely nice to a stranger, but you don't have to be friends with that stranger. You can just be acquaintance. You can just be a person he knows, and that's it. It's not an achievement to have more friends. In fact, many people say as you grow wiser, you have less friends. I don't know why. Like, I think it's a rule.
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
it's so true, dude. Like, I knew so many people back in uni, and right now I just have a handful of people that I hang out with.
So guys, I just want to tell you all, you're not my friends. If you're watching, I want to be wise, guys. Come on, like, I get it. But Mustafa, that was really, really great. Now moving to a little personal question to you. What's your interests other than business? So like, what do? You said 10 minutes that you want in your lifetime, or else you have a mental breakdown. What do you like to do in your free time? What's your hobbies like? Do you do sports, gym?
So back in the gym again, you know, just getting back in shape, figure take advantage of the quarantine and, you know, start working out again. So that's helped a lot with stress, with the time, with everything.
Do you want to show us the guns, or?
Not yet. Follow me on Instagram for more guns.
Definitely, guys.
But yeah, I mean, with that being said, because I probably spend 12 hours minimum working, right? Sometimes it even goes up to 18. So a lot of time goes into a lot of things that we do. Like there's a lot of projects and things that we're working on at Lock and Stock. I mean, Founders Club is one of them that you know, we just closed the first batch of entries of applicants, and we're having the call with you in a couple of hours. So you're one of the few selected. But that's an initiative we started. Then yeah, man. I mean, I've been taking a lot of advantage of the quarantine and building a team. So a lot of folks now have joined Lock and Stock as our team has grown. So a lot of time has been invested in, you know, building this team and working with them. And then yeah, man. Apart from that, for my free time, it's just working out and meal prep.
That's nice. Something you've always been better than me at. I suck at cooking, and you know that. But yeah, I mean, tell us more about that. So do you wake up, prepare your meal for the full day, or what do you do basically? Tell us more about that.
So yeah, I mean, like, so I'd wake up, have my morning calls and whatnot, make my coffee, have my scrambled eggs in the morning, and then usually what I like to do is that I sit and do the proper full-fledged meal prep on Fridays, right? Where I cook things in bulk, like marinate all the fish and the chicken and everything, and put everything together in the fridge for me to sort of use at any point of time during the day.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. So sorry, one second.
All right. So guys, obviously a little noise is coming into his thing, so it's fine. He's just asking his lovely folks to be quiet, but it's fine.
Things should be fine now.
But that's great. I mean, I've literally tried several times in my life to be able to start a meal, and it's kind of like really hard to do so because I just can't. It's just something I can't. And don't tell me now I want my comfort zone. It's like I think me and the kitchen are another thing. Like halas, like you know how females belong in the kitchen. Obviously, it's a joke.
Don't say that.
Obviously,
Don't say that, bro. It's 2020.
This is literally BB as a male doesn't belong in the kitchen whatsoever. It's like the complete opposite joke. Like they should they should make a joke that like this is a danger zone. The kitchen is all I have to do is go in, eat, leave. It's like this.
Yeah, no. Sometimes while I'm having my lunch, right? Like you know that feeling when you have to sit on YouTube and you look for the perfect video before you can start eating. So I'll end up watching some sort of cooking channel or the other. And so as I'm eating what I've just cooked, I'm watching what am I going to cook next.
That's actually smart. But I mean, I'm just really bad. Like I remember trying to make a sandwich. It turned out so terrible. I just couldn't. Like even a sandwich turns out terrible.
Start with the basics: peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You can't go wrong with that.
Trust me, I would be the first person on this planet to go wrong. Actually, that should be something I want to do. I want to like do a peanut butter sandwich, and then I'll show you my picture, and then we can have like an expectations
dude,
or reality.
Remember, I used to. So back in university when I was working out and I was like in proper peak shape and all that, right? Because I didn't want to eat the fast food, and we go to the food court and everybody goes and runs around, gets KFC and Hardee's and stuff like that. I'd come with my tiffin box with like four slices of bread, a knife, and a full jar of peanut butter, and I just like sit there in the middle of the food court while everybody's getting their thing and just making my peanut butter.
This guy loves peanut butter like nothing, bro. Guys, he makes milkshakes of peanut butter. He probably like sleeps with a jar every single night. I don't know what else he would have done with the peanut butter. But and he used to actually have good sandwiches. Like sometimes he would bring like nugget burgers and fancy stuff. I promise, Mustafa, like there is a reason why I chose you and Arjun to be like the first friends. It was kind of interesting. Like I've met so many people that day, a lot of hot chicks, by the way. But I don't know, for some reason I ended up with this guy. But I think there was a reason, and I think it was that whole unique personality that you have, and you know that's how the whole friendship started. Even Arjun, like that nutshell, man. If he's here, he probably knows about it already. But yeah. It's a story that really I'm like so proud of, that I met you and I know this person. Like I remember, like even those kids who come up to me and they're like, I know like can talk, la la la. I'm like, bro, I know the honor. What are you saying? And then like it's just a funny little banter we do with the kids. But yeah, it's always really good to see your success. Even though we don't talk as much nowadays because of the work, because of everyone who's busy. And you don't show up to my streams, obviously, but I know that we still have that good friendship, and you're literally there for me every time you need anything, and I was there for you every time you need anything. Like I remember, like sometimes you'd be like, "Hey, bro, I need this from you." I'm like, "Done," and like, "Khalas," I do it instantly. Yeah. And like, exactly. I don't need to go like, "Hey, you're not talking to me. What is this?" Khalas. We know that.
Low maintenance friends, man.
Yes, exactly. I know this guy is busy. I know this guy, and I keep track of his information. He keeps track of my information, and that's pretty much what matters at the end of the day. Sometimes you can have good quality friendships with completely zero communication for a long time, but yeah. One guy in the chat said I can cook mansaf. Here, I'm a professional. I mean, I can eat mansaf. That for sure. Cook mansaf is pretty debatable. But mansaf is basically a Jordanian dish, and it's one of the most delicious and popular one. I think I should take you to eat it once, Mustafa.
Dude, we've had so many plans that never happened.
This should be an adventure after Corona. Khalas, this we have to. In fact, I want to bring you all the way to Alain to try a homemade cooked mansaf. Like I'm sure my parents would love, and obviously you can stay in my room and we can have like a lovely time. I mean, in Alain, you guys, not on bed, you dirty motherfuckers. But yeah. Well, Mustafa, thank you so much for today. It was really insightful, man, and it was a good time to catch up, me and you. Thank you so much
Hmm.
for the lovely information, bro. And I really do agree with many things you said, especially the ones where you said, guys, and to you guys, I'm kind of focusing on you guys now. Um, it's really important to be able to go out of your way, get out of your comfort zone, speak to, like, guys, you have passions, if it's something you're passionate about, then what are you waiting for, like, do it, just do it, like, especially if you're a student or you're a person who doesn't have responsibilities, exactly what Mustafa said earlier. This is the time to go and make those mistakes. It doesn't matter if the CEO of this company doesn't reply to you. I mean, he probably doesn't reply to 100,000 others every day. You're just going to be another person. It's okay. But in fact, if he does reply to you, you're that lucky special person who got the job. And see how cool that sounds. You want to be that person, and I think this should be your motivation, especially in something like, guys, if you like gaming, you want to be in a gaming company. If you like fashion, you want to be in a fashion company. So go out there and get in touch with people. It's really true, and I think eventually they're gonna make a statistic about it, where a lot of people who've done that got more jobs than just applying online. Applying online is just a huge competition. You're like, sometimes your CV could just not represent your skills, and that's it, you're done. Like, sometimes you could be the perfect person for the perfect job, but you just didn't know how to make a good CV and you failed in that miserably, and done. You've lost every single application you've done. So sometimes all you have to do is just do something so crazy. And I like the word you said again, Mustafa, crazy. Don't go drinking and that crazy, but I mean, do something that people will not expect you to do, or something that will impress people. Let's stick with this. Do something that will impress people to a point where they feel like they should know who you are. Give them the trailer of your life, and like, this is exactly what Mustafa did. Like, the guy was sitting on a bench. I don't know what we were doing, but he was talking, and then like suddenly I like this guy, I want to be his friend, and that's it. That's what happened. And then we played pool, and I don't know. We were friends. So you want to give someone a trailer of your life. Be interesting to the people so that they can feel like, oh, I want to know this person better. All right, Mustafa, anything you want to say? And guys, if you have any question, this is the time to ask Mustafa. Mustafa, do you want to say anything to the chat?
No, I'm just super thankful and super grateful for having, thank you so much for having me on the show. I've been I've been wanting to be on the show since the first episode. So because I thought it was a super cool platform, and it was a great idea to have a show like this at a time like this. But yeah, man, I'm just glad to be here, and I'm glad I could answer some of those questions and help some folks out at a time like this. So yeah.
All right. Well, guys, this is the Be Positive Show. Again, guys, we do this show on Fridays and Saturdays at 5 p.m. UAE time. Otherwise, throughout the week, all I'm doing is like community games, gaming content. I will be doing a lot of things in August as well. So I've had the whole July game marathon where I played different games every week. I've also tried a couple of other platforms, but in in August, I have way more plans for you guys. So look forward to that. At the same time, feel free to go and follow Mustafa. In fact, don't feel free. You're forced. Go get your asses now and go follow Mustafa. Just to get his things, it's ! guest on the chat. I think one of the guys already did the link. So guys, just go press the link and make sure you go and follow him. He's literally so close to 3,000 followers, and I think this guy should be at 300,000 followers. So like, it's just a number, but we want to help them get there, guys. Thank you all, and if you came here from Mustafa's side, welcome to the channel. And guys, quick reminder, there is a giveaway for Eid on my Twitch channel on Tuesday. So if you guys want to be in there, go check my latest story, and finally go do the instructions on there. And Mustafa's obviously gonna be there because he's on my show and he loves me so much, and he's not the winner, I'm telling you guys from now. I'm kidding. So it's gonna be a random pick. We're actually gonna have like a pick on stream, and yeah, the people are gonna be there. Otherwise, I'm gonna be rating a friend as usual. Thank you guys for today. I love you all, and I'll see you all next week for the new show, and tomorrow for a gaming content. See you everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.